Ian from Guyana. Ian, you're muted. Come, Ian.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Boy, you and I, you come over here early because Amazon Warrior is on top.
No, it's not necessarily about Amazon Warriors, but I'm a Caribbean man, and
Yeah.
I'm all for the development of cricket. And it matters not what region you're from, but once you're West Indian, I back you. And there is quite a lot I would like to say tonight.
Why, man?
Well, on the grander scheme of things, you would have highlighted something that I'm really appalled about. And I
Mm-hmm.
was telling my father this recently. When you go to India, it is highly unlikely. I mean, yes, you cannot find, or once you're coming to franchise cricket, you can't tell somebody who to be a captain. But you must have some sort of influence when cricket is being played in your territory. And I am seeing Shea Hope, who is the current one day and 2020 captain of the West Indies, and Shemron Hetmeyer, who was a very successful youth captain for the West Indies on the 19 team when we won the World Cup in 2016. They are current top performers for the West Indies team, but they're being captained by a retired 47-year-old Imran Tahir, which I'm not happy about at all. Going across now to um saying the team it last night who we played was Patriots. Was
Mm-hmm.
no, not Patriots, St. Lucia. No, not St. Lucia, the Curtis
Antigua,
Ambrose
the
team, man.
Falcons.
Falcons. Okay. Now we have Jaden Seals there. We have Alzari Joseph, who is a former West Indies vice captain. We had Fabian Allen, who was captain in the team before Moen Ali came. Why do we have a former English player, Moen Ali, captaining our local team? You're trying to say our boys are hard headed? They're dunce. They don't know the game. I'm appalled at this. And when I see Rovman Powell captaining Jamaica, I prefer to lose with Rovman Powell. I prefer to lose with Roston Chase, although I'm not the biggest fan of Roston Chase. I prefer to lose with who I have. Give them the experience. How else would they learn? Rather than pay persons who are not even at the best to come and take the shine and experience of our players. We cannot develop our players if we're not giving them the opportunity.
But
So,
Ian, let me interject here. What would you say where if someone say you sound prejudiced there?
well, I can be prejudiced. I'm just pro towards my people because I'm not just saying this in terms of my opinion. I given reasons as to why it shouldn't happen. Because as I said, if you look at the IPL, do you think Moen Ali would be captain of any IPL team? Do you think Imran Tahir, as good as he might be, do you think he would captain any IPL team in front of anyone those Indians? There's my first question to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, I could answer the question. No, it would not happen. You have to be a high quality player of substance to captain an Indian team in front of any Indian. And I recall Chris Gale, according to stats for me, is the greatest 2020 batsman ever. But he was being captained by Indian players. And he was on um, Bangalore Royal Challengers. And he was the best, but he had to be captain. He had to be humbled because he was in the IPL. And we as Caribbean people need to stop being foreign minded. What Imran Tahir could do that Shea Hope or Hetmaya or some local Caribbean person can't. What could Moen Ali do that our persons at the Patriots, the Falcons, sorry, can't? We need to get rid of this foreign-minded limitation that we put on ourselves that local is not good and foreign is better. Because when we're looking at the bigger picture, it's going to do absolutely nothing for the development of our cricket. So there's my first issue with the captaincy. I think our captains should we at least we should try, give them a chance, and if they fail and they get a poor record, say okay. But it doesn't seem as if we even giving them a chance.
Treasure. Treasure Max.
Whoa, Wagwan.
What's up? What's up now, Treasure? What you say?
Yeah, man, me there, man. I hold the faith, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, be glad to hear that. You know?
Yeah.
So what going with the CPL?
All right. First of all, you sometimes have to agree to disagree with some people, but my guy, why me the one with me and him we goes back to foot the other night. Well, do come on early and talk about the captaincy.
Ian
Yeah,
from Guyana, the Guyanese.
yeah. It was it Ian or somebody else. I
No,
don't
man,
know. Anyway, but
Ian.
this is my thing. You know, as I said, you have to agree sometimes to disagree with. And he make a valid point and said, you know, with the captaincy and blah blah blah. But where he comes off wrong, and I am not bashing him. I don't want him to think where he comes off wrong. He does not understand. This is a franchise team.
Mm-hmm.
This is all right. I want him to tell me which one of these teams are owned by somebody in the West Indies. That the first thing. So you know what I'm trying to say. These teams are owned by foreign people, so they are franchise teams. So they call the shot. They want who to be captain for their team. It's not the country where you come from. It's who the owners want to be the captain for their team. I don't know if you're following me.
Yeah, man, I'm listening to you.
Okay. How much Indian players is playing in the CPL?
None.
Okay, good. All right. And how much? How many foreign player owners own a team in the IPL?
Yeah, good question.
You get this is what I'm saying. You know, you have to dance a yard before you go to bra. You know what I mean? So you know you have to just take what you get. That's what it is. CWI is making these choices and kissing asses and for themselves and not for the players. Sorry. And not for the players. The players are the one who are feeling it coming from the cricket West Indies. Because you cannot allow a franchise thing coming in the West Indies, and all of these teams are managed are owned by foreign owners that call the shots. That means your West Indies cricketer have to do what they say. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, Treasure, what you think about like what Ian is saying with Shea O playing who captain the West Indies T20 team? He don't captain a franchise.
But this is what I'm saying, because the franchise or owner choose who they want to captain their team. They call the shots. The franchise owner is the one who call the shots. It's not the coach, the team member. That is what the franchise. If the franchise owner said, I don't want Shehope to play, Shehope cannot play for the team. You know?
Garth.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. What's on your mind in terms of the CPL? And what were you accusing me of saying I don't call out?
All right. Forget the accusation. Good night, gentlemen. Treasure,
Yeah.
I disagree with you on certain things, but we're gonna deal with that some other time.
Okay.
My biggest issue right now is that the CPL is not doing anything for West Indies cricket. I would like back when we had the Stanford 2020, country against country. Let me ask you a question. Anybody who on the panel, let me ask them a question. Do you get the same feeling with franchise cricket compared to when you're playing country against country? Let me answer that. No. Franchise cricket, to me, in the CPL is a waste of time. Let's go back to country against country. The guys, I'm telling you, they're going to be more into the cricket. They're going to be better cricket. Maybe we may not have the talent, but I'm telling you, I don't know if you guys remember, you was talking earlier about why TKR and the Amazon Warriors always fighting. You remember in the Sanford 2020, Guyana against Trinidad. That was one of the biggest rivalry. When Star One hit the sixth off of the last ball, there's nothing better
Excuse
than
me, before
cut.
you go on, wasn't Sarah was nursing the owner right?
Okay, right, my bad. There's nothing better that brings out. You see, this, and as I say, I remember, what his name, I forget his name, when he was talking, he agreed with me that CPL don't do nothing for the cricket, really. And especially now, you see, BCCI, they control the IPL. And regardless of what the owners might want, BCCI makes the final decision. CWI don't have no money, so they can't make no decision, basically. Use wherever you have, go back to the days of Shell Seal, Red Stripe, was it nothing, and we play amongst ourselves. Back then we used to do that, and we had some of the best cricketers. It go improve. Cause
But Andrew, someone in the comment section, Andrew is saying, if we go back to country playing country, then the quality of CPL will drop. What you
it
say
can't,
about that?
hold on, it can't drop no worse because we don't have the best. The thing is, right? I remember when 2020 started, Trinidad had 80% of the best players. They went in the Champions League and lost to New South Wales. That's when Pollard and Narayana and them came out, right? If you want to get good, you play against the best. If one country have all the best players, you play against them. And if you beat them, you do your thing. If you lose to them, they continue. You understand? The thing about it now, when they started this taking man from this country and put them in this country, and that, I never like that. You understand? They're trying to bring parity in the league, but the parity is already in the country. So these guys who play against each other in the country, if they have the best, they're playing against the best. You understand what I'm saying? So to me, because back in the days, right, you play a Barbadian team. Barbados had like 7 men playing for the West Indies. They used to play Trinidad. They used to be the sit out of Trinidad. They used to play Jamaica. Same thing, Guyana. You don't remember them? Well, you, Lenny, you might remember them days, but I remember them days. You understand? And with cricket, continue to grow until, well, we know what happened. But that's just my feeling. I mean, other people might feel differently, but the cricket is not getting better. So we have to either go back to something that we had in the beginning, or we try something new. But this CPL thing, I don't know. I don't like it. Country against country. As I say, when I had asked, what gives you the most enjoyment when you're watching cricket? Is not country against country? No, answer me. You see how?
Yeah, man. It give you, yeah.
Okay then. All right. When you're playing, you have a man from Jamaica, a man from Guyana, a man from St. Martin, a man from New Zealand. It just don't give you the same feeling. And if whoever think I'm wrong, just tell me, boy, you're talking stupidness.
All right. Yes, man. Thank you, God. Ian.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you agree with that in some instance because some people are really saying what he's saying. The CPL is not helping the West Indies. The CPL is out. How can it be improved? Do you agree with what he's saying?
Well, there's two ways of looking at everything. And I would have already looked at the other way of looking at it, but I was the person in the comment section who had agreed, and I'm still going to agree with what he said. I definitely support Garth is his name.
Yeah.
Yes, I support Garth because I'm not looking at it just from an entertainment perspective. I'm also looking at it from a developmental perspective. And I like coming with facts. And back in 2023, I told someone the days of Trinidad is going to be numbered. Why? Because Trinidad, they're not allowing local talents to shine. And when we don't allow our local talents to shine, we're hindering ourselves. For instance, just give me a minute quickly, let me iron this out. We have Pollard. He's Trinidadian, but he's retired. We have Narain, Trinidadian, but retired. Alex Hales, Englishman. Monroe, New Zealander. Puran, Trinidadian, but retired. We have this spinner. I don't know his name. He spin his ball and he pass. I can't remember his name. But when you look at those players, they're taking up the majority of the exposure of the playing. So when you take them away from Trinidad team, it's not really a Trinidadian team. It's a team of old persons who are just there taking up the spots that young players can actually be taking. So in this format, the CPL is not developing West Indies cricket. If we go back to the same country versus country, where we could see 11 players from Jamaica, 11 persons from Trinidad, 11 persons from, even if it's Windwards and Leewards or Antigua or wherever, Guyana. To me, when you're looking at development, it doesn't matter if everybody come from one country that is on the West Indies team. I prefer to see, when I go and cheer for Guyana, I prefer going to see their Guyanese rather than you import a set of persons and then you're paying them a set of money that you could pay your local people. I mean, we need the money more than these foreigners. These foreigners already established, they live the life. If you want to develop local talents, invest in your local persons. It matters not if you get six Trinidadians in the West Indies team or whatever. I prefer to see country versus country when you're looking at it, not just from an entertainment perspective, but from a developmental perspective. And from the other side of the coin, some persons may argue that with the franchise setup, somebody may want to come and see a foreigner. Let's say, well, we don't have many persons like Virat Kohli or whatever, but let's say you like a Imran Tahir. Maybe Tahir may be a person who's going to draw a crowd more than maybe a local player. But then you got to look at the bigger picture. When our players then develop, they are going to be the Imran Tahirs, and then eventually they're going to be drawing cards. Because look at Sunil Narine. When Chris Gale was in his heyday, there was no cricketer on this planet that could draw a crowd than Chris Gale. And he's a local Jamaican. So I definitely agree with Garth from that aspect.
Yeah,
Yes, Terrence. Do you agree, Terrence, on this point that the CPL is not doing too much? And what about the cap for the West Indies? Or what about the captaincy? That your ear Ian spoke about earlier. Yeah,
hello, hello.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
hearing
okay.
you. Did you
Yeah,
hear my question?
yeah. It has bugged me a bit, you know. Firstly, the question of the captaincy, where you had Chase as the captain of the West Indies team, playing under this guy from Zimbabwe, he failed badly last year. I remember his name, but maybe his name might eventually come. Eventually while we are at it. But the captain of
Someone
this,
Andrew is saying David Weiser. So
Wiser, that's the guy. Wiser.
Yeah.
This guy, I mean, was the captain of the St. Lucia Kings. When you have the captain of the West Indies team in in um in Chase playing under him, I mean, it was making no sense to me. But again, you see, as is quite rightly stated, this is owned by a franchise and they have their own agenda. But to me, your agenda should be to have a winning product, and to have a guy who has no reputation as a captain to make him, captain of the team and so on. It just didn't make a lot of sense to me and so on. And also the question of Shy Hope too. I mean, you really think that the board, the West Indies board, should have some influence with CPL to have some discussion with them so that Shy Hope can get the experience, can continue to increase his experience as captain. On the other hand, it may well be that Shy Hope is relaxing and he's having fun, not having the pressure of the captaincy on his shoulders. So while we are putting we put in a punch there for Shy Hope to captain a franchise, maybe Shy Hope is quite relaxed and enjoying the holiday, But really, I think that it would be better if that happens. On the question of the of having teams to represent the country like we did in the past, where the players were from specific countries. If you were to think back, if you were to just think back on the Caribbean T20 competition just before we went into CPL, we used to have full house when there were T20 matches being played in the various countries. Just remember, right? I remember going to the Darren Sammy Stadium, with Trinidad playing against the Windward Islands, full house. And I wondered why they stopped it. Why? People used to come out and support the game, and they went into this thing, and it was a question of players from the Windward Islands, players from Trinidad. Right now, how many Windward players have been featured in this CPL? How many Windward players? Right? How many Leeward players have been featured? Very few. So really, I totally agree that this is not helping the development of cricket in the Caribbean, at least the development of the T20 cricketers, and they need to review it. But we did have what they call a breakout league, I think up to last year or year before. And I think the plan was to have, to give an opportunity for the young guys to get the exposure in T20 cricket. But I don't know, it doesn't seem that it's continuing, maybe because of financial reason. But I think this was being addressed through the T20 League. And maybe some of the other contributors might want to speak a bit on that.
Okay, man. Thank you. Treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to me about this helping the West Indies, the CPL, what.
Okay, well, I would agree with the guys with country playing against country, because if you want to have a good West Indies team, you have to have the best, whether you're going with a 17-man squad to tour or you playing at home. So, like back in the days when I was growing up, it was Shell Shield and Jamaica playing against Guyana, or it was Guyanese and the Guyana team. It was Jamaican and the Jamaica team, right? But then it watered down to something else. So I would agree with them that the country playing against country is the best thing. So you can find the potential, the talent of a young West Indian coming up. Because mostly, for instance, with Trinidad, right? If Trinidad have a full team in the 2020 right now, but you have at least, say you have Poran, Pollard, Norine, but then you have 6 or 7 young players with them. They are sharing their experience with these young players. But no, it's not like that. You have a Poran, Pollard, and then you have 5 overseas players. Then you have the Trinidadian who are good young players coming up, sitting in the bench, watching them. You cannot get no development from them like that. So I agree with them with it's best if it's country against country instead of getting all these foreign player coming in where there I don't want to use the word, but then why would I take up something that was not wanted by somebody or some place or somewhere? Why? I mean, that would make no sense to me. But then to each his own. This franchise cricket is killing West Indies cricket. And as God said, CWI doesn't have no money, so they have to just take what they get. You know what I mean? The Indian cricket nation, BCCI, call the shot over there. So, but then they still call the shot on Indians player. They don't call the shot on a foreigner player. They call the shot on Indian player. So, we have to just start playing this cricket country to country and leave out these foreign players. I'm not being biased, but I'm just saying if we want West Indies cricket to develop, we have to start getting in all these young
But
talent.
Treasure,
Yeah,
uh, Jason Clark in the comment section, right? He said
yeah.
a very interesting thing. He said, if country versus country, then views will be lost. We don't have that quality in the region. He's saying that we don't have the quality of players in the region.
Okay, he or she can says that because you cannot see you cannot predict or make an assumption on something that you don't see.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we know the talent if we don't see them come out and perform in it? So this we can say what we are seeing so far is not might not be good to our eyesight, but probably better is there sitting, waiting for the opportunity to come show it out there.
Okay.
So I'm just saying I rather country to country than getting all these players from all over there because you are paying them so much money and at the same time you are paying the same countryman half of the money you paying the foreigner, you paying the country. Come on now. So you could take that money and get two other country person who have the talent to come on the team. See if you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's it for now until we go to a different topic.
All right. So let me bring this one to Ian then. Ian,
Yeah,
Ian.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Let me take this from Andrew in the comment section. Listen to this. Andrew is saying the organizers of the CPL have a totally different objective in mind than what we are thinking. Maybe it was meant to generate attendance at the games and not player development. What you say to that, Ian?
Well, as he would alluded to one of the points that I would have mentioned earlier, everything has two ways of looking at different perspectives. My perspective, I would agree with what he's saying there, as in their aim is not really for development of our players. They're just looking as a product that, listen, I am going to put this person on my poster. So this person is going to be a drawing card for crowd.
Mm-hmm.
This is how the owners of the franchise looking at it. But how we as diehard fans and persons who have interest in the game and development looking at it is the way how everybody here currently actually suggests. Country against country. And that's how we're gonna develop persons like, for instance, look at Chris Gale. Let's say we had franchise cricket in the time when Chris Gale was in his embryonic stage. When Chris Gale was in his embryonic stage, you had persons like Lara and Shiv and Hooper and so on. Chris Gale probably was like 19 years old. So let's say Gale was on the same team with all these players. Then we would import persons like Lance Klusener and Alan Donald and them. We would never get a Chris Gale because we would never know what Chris Gale was capable of because he would never had gotten the exposure. But now he got the exposure because when he came, he didn't come in this franchise thing. He is the universe boss. But he would have never been the universe boss if he had these foreigners sheltering him. So, from a commercial standpoint, It's going to take a development that I think we as diehard fans, we are willing and able to say, okay, we're going to wait and we're going to be patient for the development to occur. So our local players going to be the calling cards. But the myopic perspective of the franchise owners, they don't want to wait. They want to say, listen, we want to make the most money and we look into pocket, but we could pocket. Now we got time with emotions and sentiments. We can pay the foreigners even if they gotta get paid double or triple because our objective is not about development. Our objective is about how much money we could pocket right now.